song, a jam session with me and Mick. That's fucking unbelievable. But anyway, there's a lot of those kind of stories, and I don't know how I managed to do it, but I got together with these guys and we went to London, and Elton John signed us immediately to his record label. Now he had, you know, he was just recording Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player, and he'd done Honky Chateau or whatever, and he'd done Madman Across the Water. So he had loads of money, and he was crazy, but like good crazy, like. So it wasn't like going to a record company, it was like going to a really fancy boutique where he would just hand out money and jewels. And we were from like the back streets of Sunderland, used to getting beaten up for like walking around with a guitar. So it was like, wow, landed in heaven. And then Chris Blackwell signed me to Warner Music. And what happened was, they're not realizing that, you know, 18-year-old boy with a shitload of money in his hand, it's not necessarily going to go to a recording studio. I bought 1,000 capsules of mescaline and I bought 4 guitars in the same day on Denmark Street, because you know, you're stoned and like, oh my god, like I'll have that one and that one and that one. And after about, this is all in the book, but it's much better written in the book, but you know, they came to see us after about 3 months to see how we were getting on with our album writing. And I always remember because 2 guys arrived from Elton's label and from Warner Music, and they opened the door, but somehow they got into our house we'd rented, and everybody was just lying on the ground, and nobody could actually get up, and we repeated the same performance that got us the deal in the first place, which was an hour of tuning up. Because everybody was so stoned, and we were like, look, Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young type of band, but we just couldn't tune the guitars because we were so stoned. And so we didn't last long, that band, on the label. We did a few gigs, and Elton tossed us in the deep end. I mean, to support him, you know, can you imagine? We'd only played in a folk club of about this amount of people, and the next thing, we were playing in like in a cycle stadium in Italy. And I'll just tell you a little, because I won't go on, but a little story at the end of this Elton John tour, which is very funny, relates to my now wife and how impressed she was with something. And I, like, just like the guitar and the jacket, I played it cool, but like, it was the last day of the tour. Elton had a comics. By the way, I hasten to add, I had no idea what gay was. I was just lying around on Elton's bed reading comics, thinking this is normal. And anyway, but actually, this particular ending party of the tour, there was loads of people there. There was ballet dancers and people in the corner talking, and you know, John Reid, Elton's manager. And it was, you know, packed penthouse suite. And so I went in the bathroom and I thought, how do I impress this glitterati? And I came out just wearing like a robe and a wrapped towel around my long hair, and sort of doing an Isadora Duncan kind of dance around the room. And this caught this guy's eye, and he said, hey kid, come over here. So I went over there, and he had these 2 amazing looking girls with them, women like 19, 20 years old. And he said, I've just been making this movie with these girls, and we're going to make another one. I think you'd be really good in it. Now remember I told you I got married when I was about 17 or whatever. So now I've been married for like 2 years, and she was from Sunderland, like salt of the earth, down to earth. So, and we were living in a tiny room in an empty house, you know, like when you have a squat and there's a phone in the middle and one toilet for everybody. So I'm ringing her from this penthouse suite in Rome, and she has to answer shivering in the sort of in the hallway. And I'm going, hello, well, I might stay on a bit longer because I've been asked to be in a movie, and you know, that might be good to diverge, you know, into my career, and this and that. She can hear this party going on in the background. And I think she was thinking, yeah, I'm in here in this kind of hallway, freezing. And all she said was, very good, get home now. It's a very Geordie thing to say. So I went home, cut to 25 years later, I'm in the Hotel Coste in Paris with my now wife, Anushka. And we're having dinner, and it's one of our early dates, and this guy's staring at me, and I'm like, fucking hell, what's he staring at? I'm like, and then he comes over, and I'm like, oh no. And he goes, oh my God, aren't you that kid in the room that was wearing the towel around your head? And I wanted you to be in my movie, and I was going, yeah, it could have been me. And when he left, my wife says, my God, you know Roman Polanski? And I was like, yeah. I had no idea who he was at the time. But anyway, these are the kind of stories that are in the book, and they go down different rabbit holes and how I wrote songs with various people. And it's kind of, I suppose I'm hinting at it's a very humorous read. And partly because I have no idea how it all happened. I just wandered around saying yes to loads of things. I mean, it seems to work. You do end up in some precarious situations. There's one bit in the book where I used to take loads of drugs. I mean, loads of drugs. Like, people talk about taking drugs, but this was like loads of drugs. Like 400 times taking acid in like a year and a half or something. It's like nearly every day, right? My poor wife, you know, she would come home from work as a nurse and I'd hand her a piece of paper. That was everything in the universe, you know what I mean? But when she showed me it years later, it was just scribble. Right? This is what I was dealing with, but anyway. It was bad. But anyway, it got so bad that when Annie and I first started living together, we were living in a squat on £8 a week between us. You know, a derelict house. And this guy kept coming around, he was a Hells Angel guy called Blue, who gave me drugs. And one time I woke up with Annie screaming, and she's got a hell of a loud voice. And I was asleep, and this Hells Angel was trying to give me speed on a flick knife under my nose while I'm asleep. And Annie was like, what the fuck up? Anyway, so we get into a bit of that bit in the book. And then I victoriously come out of it after many sort of illnesses and operations, and I have this thing, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called a walk-in. A walk-in is somebody who slips into somebody's body when they're in the slipstream of going in and out of consciousness before they die. I've written a graphic novel called Walk-In, which is like, you could get it, but that's what happened to me. So I nearly died, well I did die, and then I woke up a different person, and I haven't stopped writing songs since. I didn't write hardly any before, and I wasn't interested in much apart from trying to learn how to play blues guitar, like a blues guitarist, and getting really stoned. But after this, I created so much creative chaos, and I haven't stopped, and I probably won't stop, but that's because I'm not me. So the rest of it explains why I'm not me in the book. But on behalf of Dave, I'd love to sign some books, have a martini. Is anybody taking the martini? Oh, okay. I'll tell you what, I got so obsessed with martinis, I tattooed one on my arm. But everybody laughs, but it's just amazing in Turkey or Greece or Norway, when you go to the barman and you just go, fucking one of them, mate. Otherwise, you'll be on hours of them going, I divide guiding, no, that. I want to play you, as we are having a little drink and signing, some things that people don't know off my laptop, which is I write songs constantly with lots of people. But record labels do this thing what I called analog to monologue, like, oh, we want 10 songs or 12 songs every 3 years to put out on something, because they used to make things, CDs and vinyl, and they're still stuck in that thing. So I'm going to play you some songs that Mick and I have written that nobody's ever heard before, and it's just us jamming around and having fun, and some songs by other people, you might recognise them. And if you go to we're just building the website, but it'll be ready tomorrow, will it? So it's davestewartent.com/book. And I couldn't fit lots of things in the book. I did a wise thing. I said to Penguin, how many pages were in Nelson Mandela's book, memoir? Because I did not want to write more than him, because it would be ridiculous, right? And they told me, and then I said, but Madonna's was 800, and his was 350 odd. And I went, that makes sense. I'll tell you a funny story that's in the book, which is true, which Madonna was in my hotel room in, what do you call that hotel that's on the corner of the park? And it was a big rock and roll hotel.
Plaza.
Sorry?
Plaza?
No. Viagra?
Plaza. Plaza.
Oh, the Plaza, no. No, this was called the Mayflower.
The Mayflower.
Yeah, right, so I was in the Mayflower and I met Madonna in the bar there. We went to our room, I had a little porter studio, and we were talking, and she told me she didn't like any minor chords at all. And I was like really confused about that, like, okay, so everything's in the major key, but that's fine. And then we went for a Japanese meal, and then she came to see me, and I was at Jimmy Iovine's place, sharing, you know, we lived together. And I just recorded Don't Come Around Here No More, and when she arrived I was in this big jacuzzi, which she sat beside, and I was playing it. And I was playing it, and she was listening like this. And she said, you know, I said, I just, you know, been recording this with Tom Petty. She said, that's not my kind of music, but that's going to be like a big hit song. So she had this like smarts for like, that's going to work, that's going to work, that's going to work. But I'll leave you on a funny story with me and Jimmy. I don't know if you know Jimmy, he is a very funny character. Interesting, sharp as a razor. When we shared a place together, I used to have like panic attacks. I didn't know what it was. But this time I had one at like, you know, 7 in the morning. And Jimmy was terrified of blood. And this guy, Gordon, was a real pain in the ass because he wouldn't open his bedroom door to get the keys to move the car to drive me to Cedars-Sinai Hospital. And so we eventually got out. Jimmy drove me all the way there. I got to the hospital, and this is a perfect moment actually. It's making me feel anxious thinking about it. So I got to the hospital, and Jimmy's like, oh my God, I don't like going in hospitals, but he came in, and I said, he's having a heart attack, and there was a queue of people, and there was this woman who was hugely pregnant. And she was going, you better hurry up, it's my 8th. And Jimmy fainted, right? I got pushed into this room, and this guy came, you know, with the blinds around, and he put all the things on me, the ECG, whatever it's called. And he went, oh my God, you're Dave Stewart, right? And I was like, yeah, but I'm having a heart attack right now. He closes the blinds even more, and he goes, I'm a songwriter myself. And, and he leans in my ear and he goes, the Tropic of Desire. And I'm going, I'm dying. I said, oh, by the way, there's a famous record producer out there. And he went shooting out and left me alone. Anyway, I got to see the doctor. They said, really, I'd strained my neck or something playing tennis. Gave me some muscle relaxant. Jimmy and I both took one, and we drove off the edge of Mulholland. Wow. This is all in one morning. Got back to his house and got in. I got in the jacuzzi. Not good on a muscle relaxant, I learned. She nearly drowned. And then Madonna came round and heard Don't Come Around Here No More. But anyway, all these stories and many more are in the book. Honestly, it nearly killed me. I aged about 10 years writing it. And having to contact everybody and looking backwards in your life when you only look forwards. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it. And cheers everybody, and I'll sign some. And I'm now going to play some rare tracks. It's pretty amazing that people don't realise that, you know, musicians, when they write songs with each other for fun, can be pretty great, okay? I'm going to start with one of me and Mick, alright? Yeah. Find it. Dave and Mick, here we go.